After almost 7 years, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors voted to end its boycott of nearly 30 conservative-leaning states. See, back in 2016, the supervisors approved a local ordinance that prohibited city employees from traveling to or doing business with 30 states that had passed, of course, in their view, restrictions on LGBT rights. And the ordinance was later amended to include states that they say had restricted voting rights or limited abortion access. Look at this. Restrictive voting laws. Don't you love that? Did you realize here in Texas we have restrictive voting laws? I didn't. Well, they probably mean, Eric, you're black. You're not allowed to vote, right?
Yeah, maybe that's exactly what it is that they mean, because I can't get an ID.
Right.
You
don't understand how?
I don't even know how to get it. What's an ID? What is that?
Oh, you poor dear.
Poor black man.
Oh, you poor dear. I'm sure you can find a white man, or I'm sorry, probably a white woman who's happy to explain to you how you're oppressed and explain to you how to do that. It's fascinating how they twist these things. So 1 month after amending the ordinance, the board voted 7-4 to repeal it completely, citing in a report that the city found, quote, no concrete evidence the boycott was ever effective, while it actually cost the city more money to ban these states and damage the city's bottom line. It said, while it is difficult to quantify the exact cost of the boycott to the city, the budget and legislative analyst notes that a loss in competition is likely to increase the city's contracting costs by 10 to 20% annually, and these costs could continue to increase and compound over time as the city's potential contractor pool shrinks if the list of banned states grows. Oh, I love this.
It's an economic lesson, for sure, is what this is. I guess they really overestimated their reach there and how important it is that anybody, let's say, definitely in these states, would ever give a crap about how anybody out there in California, let alone one city in California, whatever, okay, you don't want to work with them, all right, whatever. I mean, we don't have to do any of that. You're only hurting yourselves in the event that you guys need to trade, sell goods, move, travel to, that you're handicapping yourself. That's really it, because what are we going to do? Like, oh, my God, San Francisco doesn't want to trade with, okay, like nobody's tripping. Ain't nobody tripping at all on that. But, I guess it shows that certainly economics, the law of it, and that's when people get to changing, right? When people understand that their bottom line, this is the point that I've been trying to drive home with people on our side of the aisle forever. Once that bottom line gets to change and you see folk get to acting right, everybody's a virtue signaling advocate until that bottom line gets to hurting for a longer extended period of time, and they start feeling it in their own pockets. It doesn't matter if it's the government. It doesn't matter if it's a business. Doesn't matter. The same economic law applies. And if you want to hit these people where it hurt, you see what's going on with Bud Light. I heard they just had some emergency meeting not too long ago. Reports were because of this whole ordeal and how much money that they freaking lost over. People get to acting right once they start losing money. So what is it going to take for folks on our side of the aisle? Even though with this they handicap themselves, right, but at least applying that sort of logic, we see that there's so much going on that's incorrect. Unfortunately, people are wired to try to get the government to fix it. And I'm looking at it more so, screw these people, let's stop funding them if we don't have to, right? And definitely for these agencies that are more voluntary in a sense that they're largely subsidized by us, and they're like voluntary, like beer, you know what I'm saying? Or Disney, or like a movie or something.
Right.
I don't need that to function. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, John.
As you disenfranchise more people, the economy improves. That's like what this story tells us. And that's also like literally true. I mean, if you disenfranchise more people, you would have less stupid people voting for things that affect all of us, people who actually are productive members of society, and the economy would improve. This is not my idea. I think Hayek or one of these economists wrote about this, Milton Friedman, but it is true.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. Have you?
I'll say this. Trying to appeal to the widest demographic possible is economic illiteracy.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of, definitely in entertainment.
Which then you would get disenfranchised people as a result of that.
Exactly. So I would certainly say that. I see that in art all the time. And that's why IDW is not going broke. Go look it up.
It's just a bad incentive. Like, people who are taking more from the system than they contribute, having a stake in voting on how that money is spent, it's being taken from people who actually do contribute. It makes no sense, which is, the Founding Fathers didn't want it to be a right, but nonetheless.
Right, I agree.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.